Food Gal.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. That was some ASMR action on these Orion.
Wait, did you record that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Go on.
On these Orion, what are they called? Onion rings. Yeah, they don't taste like onions.
No, they taste like sweet onion rings.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be spicy.
Yeah, no, the packet says spicy, but when you actually eat them,
They taste like Tom's.
There's no spice. It tastes very sweet. It tastes like Tom's. Yeah, like the tomato. They're not chips. They're tomato.
Corn
crisps.
snacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ASMR action is real good on this though. I think that's why people watch the show. Yeah. Why would we be watching it for ASMR? Anyway,
It's really weird.
all weirdness aside, Georgina, where did we go to recently?
I think it's time to go to the cutscene. If you're a fan of Dynasty Warriors,
Yeah, you will know.
Yeah.
It's only Jacob will know.
Literally, no, I don't think anyone that plays Dynasty Warriors watches our.
Actually,
listens to our podcast.
Jacob does.
I mean, from like the general public. So whenever we do like a nostalgic cutscene or like a nostalgic memory and have to do like a cutscene, we're gonna use the sound.
Yeah, that's
FYI.
basically the Dynasty Warriors cutscene sound.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're big fans of Dynasty Warriors. We're also big fans of the place that we went to recently.
Yeah, Ichiba. Ichiba was really good.
Ichiba, really amazing, really affordable. We reached out to them and Japan Center in general, and shout out to Amelia from Japan Center team. They hooked us up. They invited us over and they let us try out their food, and it was really, really, really nice. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. A big thanks to our sponsors, Japan Center /Ichiba. So they sponsored the episode today. So big shout out to them. Also, the snacks that we got, the snacks that we got today. You can find at Ichiba or Japan Center, respectively. So big shout out.
Did we record a haul? I think we need to do Ichiba part 2 where we actually show them what snacks we got.
Yeah, so this is Ichiba part 2. We didn't do a haul initially. I know back in the day when we first started Umai, like in 2020, we started on a couple of places that we liked, and I think our second episode was dedicated to Japan Center and Ichiba, and that was before they even sponsored us and before they reached out to us. So it's really kind of nice that we're kind of being recognized by the places that we love and the places that we want to show you guys. So once again, big thanks to the Japan Center team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That Trisha Paytas soundbite. Anyway, Georgina, Japan Center. We've been going there for like donkey's years, right?
Literally years.
And this was back in the day when it used to be in Piccadilly Circus.
We've seen Japan Center change many, many times from like, you know, beforehand they didn't even have this little coffee shop that they have inside Japan Center. I had this and that. Like Japan Center, like we've been to it before it even evolved, and we thought it was great beforehand, and we think it's still great now.
What I loved about Japan Center back in the day when it was in Piccadilly Circus, it was near the Trocadero, so you kind of go there, visit Tokyo Toys and not buy anything. Just how it is in Tokyo Toys, right?
You go to Kapacha to get your bubble tea.
You go to Kapacha to get your bubble tea, and then what was lovely about it is that we would go up there and we'd see all of these snacks, and back in the day you couldn't get
them anywhere else,
right? Because Japan Center was like a sole importer of a lot of the Japanese goods, snacks, like cosmetic items as well, manga as well. They had manga in Japanese and in English, and this is way before even comic book stores started to sell manga in English and stuff like that. And they used to sell Famitsu, like, you know, the Japanese games magazines and stuff. Like, if you wanted to know what new games were coming out,
like Dynasty Warriors,
or like Shinsangoku Musou, Dynasty Warriors, games like that, you can actually go to Japan Center, buy these magazines and check them out. And that's what I used to do a lot of the time for research on the podcast back in the day, because, you know, especially in the early internet days, you really didn't have access to a lot of these things. But also, they had like a small little cafe with like a sushi, and they would sell you curry and stuff as well.
Which is good.
Which was really good back then. And I was just like, wow,
they
this
had
is
like
amazing.
A little, like hot, they don't do this often, but I remember like in the one of the other branches, they had like a little stand outside with sold
Yes.
takoyaki.
That's when they start to do the takoyaki, and they also used to do taiyaki as well. And they in the summer they used to do snow cones, and that's something that
Bring back the snow cones.
you know what? That's actually quite interesting because
bring back the snow
the
cones.
way that it is now is that you have like 3 Japan Center locations.
Yeah.
You still have that original Piccadilly Circus one, which is dedicated for mainly like ceramics and hard goods and things like that.
Because that was like the first one, wasn't
That,
it?
I think that was the first one, if I'm not mistaken. And then they have the other one in Leicester Square, which also has like a little food court area. And it was kind of mainly for groceries
It's like
and
more
things
like
like
a
that.
supermarket.
It's more like a supermarket, like a grocery store, kind of like a kombini as well, because they do have a lot of section for kombini. And I kind of feel that if you want the experience of both,
You have to go to the one in White City,
yeah, Ichiba is like the best place because they've got ceramics there. They've got fresh,
Food
like
court.
they've got food court. They've got butchers. They've got bentos in kombini, and you can buy like
They even
alcohol.
have like alcohol section. Ichiba in White City is really, really good.
It's amazing. And I remember even back in the day, I used to like work near White City, and I go in there all the time, right? Just to buy my lunch or to, you know, sometimes you want to buy some Japanese alcohol and you're like, okay, I'm going to buy some soju or strong zeros, which you can't get anywhere else.
Strong Zero was unreal.
That was insane. I only heard about Strong Zero because Trash Taste talked about it on their podcast, and a lot of other like Japanese YouTubers and vloggers started talking about it. And it's like super cheap in Japan. And it's just, it's so amazing. And it's hard to explain.
There is a lot of alcohol in there.
There's too much alcohol. I do not recommend it. Like if you're the type of person that's like, oh
There
yeah,
is
I'll drink some tinnies.
2.5 cocktails in one
It's
can.
insane. It's super strong.
And it's like a normal size tinny that
And
you get from like M&S, but it's like almost twice or 3 times the amount of alcohol.
Dude, the thing is that
one sip and you're done.
It hits you
It
hard.
hits you hard, yeah.
Like 1 minute you're drinking it, and then the next minute you're like in the street sleeping on the side of the pavement. Like it's that strong.
Like honestly, this will. If you have issues, you'll drink this and you think to yourself, I want to go back to my wife and my kids and just make things right.
It lets you.
It gives you revelation.
Yeah, it's
it
insane.
makes you want to be a bit better person when you wake up the next day.
Yeah, because you start to rethink everything in your life, but that's besides the point. So Strong
you
Zeros.
reevaluate everything.
Yeah, so with Strong Zeros, it's quite interesting because that's like the only place you can get Strong Zeros. They also sell like alcohol that you can only get like in Japan. So there's a lot of like stuff like the Asahi. They sell like the imported Asahi, the stuff that's made in the Peroni factory, which is pretty much like
Sapporo
Peroni.
as well.
They sell Sapporo. But what I was trying to say was that the fact that they sell the actual Asahi stuff that's brewed in Japan.
Do you know what? I just want to take a moment to say this. Do you know what I absolutely miss from Ichiba? Back in the day, they used to make these freshly baked biscuits / cookies, and one of them, it came like in a pack of 4. One of them was like green tea. The other one was like sakura, and the other one was like Earl Grey, and the other one was like lemon poppy.
Yeah, they still do that.
I cannot find them anywhere.
They still do that. You have to kind of go and see where you go to because Ichiba does have like a bakery section. It's not as big as it used to be, but I think if you go to Japan Center in Leicester Square, you'll find them.
They were just so nice and delicate and just packed with
We
flavor.
spoke about it in the previous episode, so if you guys want to hear about that, it's in the
But
previous
are they in
episode.
Leicester Square? If they're in Leicester Square, then I think I need to pop down.
I think they're in Leicester Square. I mean, there's a lot of differences between the two, and they serve different purposes, right? And the lovely thing about Ichiba and Japan Center is that you can get hot food, but at the same time, you can get sashimi, you can get sushi, you can get
the sushi.
bento
Oh
boxes,
my god!
ramen,
Even if
all
you
that kind of
don't,
stuff.
even if you don't eat from the food court, if you just go to the side near the entrance of the store and go to the little sushi section and the bento section, that in itself is already a meal, and it's so fresh, so delicious, like just as good as a hot food counter. Honestly, you can even get
100%.
ramen and coffee.
You can, and because they have Ueshima or Umeshima Coffee Company
Yeah.
there as well, because they
It's
have like a
good.
central area,
If you like coffee, you'll love this.
because they do Japanese drip style coffee, which is amazing. I'm a big fan of it. I also want to
You don't
kind
even
of.
drink coffee, do you?
I'm not really a big fan of coffee, but I'm a big fan of a drip style coffee. It's got a smoother flavor to it. It's not as strong. I just prefer it. But anyway, besides the point, I think as Ichiba goes, it is genuinely one of my favorite places to go and hang out. They do a lot of stuff in coinciding with Japanese cultural festivals. You can go in at certain times. They'll have like little stalls and little pop-ups. They
Like
did a
the
Miffy
Miffy one,
collab.
yeah.
There was like this collab with like a local kimono shop that was selling like kimonos and like stuff like that. And I think at one point they were doing a Vocaloid collab. They literally do collabs with a lot of core elements of Japanese pop culture, which I really do like, and I like the fact that they're out there sort of promoting Japanese culture and pop culture.
The staff are really friendly.
Oh, the staff are really nice. I can't remember much of the staff because when we went there, it was just, I don't know, it was quite busy because we decided to go on a Saturday.
Yeah, which was our mistake.
Which was our mistake to go on a Saturday, but at the same time, the vibes are good.
Yeah. The food was unreal.
The food was unreal.
The service was unreal.
The service was great as well. And I think the food came out in a very, very timely manner. Like we weren't waiting long for our food, but it was still fresh. It wasn't like stuff that was, it was still fresh, and it was incredibly warm and just it made me feel good inside. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It feels like very sort of
like home style
Japanese
It felt like it was made of love.
100%.
But not just that. For the amount we paid, and by I say we paid, it was very lovely that Ichiba paid for us.
So Japan Center gave us £40 for the both of us to share.
And the amount of food we brought, we could not finish it.
So I will have to say this, we got a bit we got a bit cocky.
We may have spent like maybe £5 extra from our own money.
No, I think we spent like an additional 10.
Yeah. Which is like 2 more dishes, to be fair.
2 more dishes.
We'll say.
But the reason why we did that is because we wanted to
try a bit of everything.
We wanted to try a bit of everything. We wanted to see what would kind of work with our meal. And to be fair with you, even £40 was a lot of money, which is a good thing, especially in this cost of living crisis that we're currently in. Don't want to get political, but it is something that a lot of us are conscious of. If you want to go out on a, if you want to go out with your friends, or if you're thinking about going out on a date.
This could have easily fed 4 people. The amount we got, 4 to 5 people.
We couldn't finish it.
We couldn't. I kind of felt, I don't want to say bad, but because the food tasted so good, as soon as I got home and I wasn't full anymore, all I could think of is why didn't I finish that last pizza katsu or something?
And we'll talk about what we got when we go into our break. But my point being is that this is a place where even the aesthetic,
friends as well.
Even with the aesthetic of the place, it's very sort of modern Japanese vibe. It's, you got like these lovely little booths out there. You can sit near the sort of butcher area or the sashimi area where the fishmonger is, or in that central area as well where the coffee shop is, or in the booths. We decided to sit in the booths because I'm a big fan of the booth. In all sort of Japanese eateries, I'm just a big fan of booth dining and stuff like that. But like I said, if you're going to meet out with friends, or if you're thinking about taking someone out on a date or something, this I think is an excellent place to go. And the prices are really, really reasonable.
Not just that, there's so many options you can get. You want ramen, you want katsu, it's at beef sukiyaki, you want skewers, you want salmon, sushi, sashimi, whatever you want.
It's got a range of food from all different types, right? So
gyoza.
Exactly. So if you're a fan of if you're a fan of ramen, they've got ramen from Yokocho, they got ramen from Shoryu, like they've got it all, which I was very surprised about, because I remember the last time I went to Japan Center and Ichiba, they didn't have Yokocho stuff, because I didn't even know Yokocho existed.
I didn't know Yokocho was owned by Japan Center.
Yeah, and it's a lovely restaurant. We'll talk about that in a future episode. But the fact that they serve the same ramen dishes. So think of Ichiba like this, right? So everything that makes Japan Center what it is, and what is amazing about Japan Center is they've sort of condensed it and they've placed it in Ichiba. So the food court as a result is just this wonderful mix and match of all the different types of Japanese cuisine. So if you want ramen, they've got excellent ramen. If you want to just sit down and drink and have cocktails, you can do that as well. Or if you want to have like coffee, great, you can have Japanese style coffee. You can have katsu curry, you can have donburi, and you can have all of these different things. Even if you're like, oh, you know what, I want to keep it light and I just want to have tempura and udon, you can have that as well. Who said that?
It was not Jade.
Was it one of the sugar babes?
No, it was. It was one of the women from. It was Jessie Nelson from Little Mix.
From the Sugar Babes.
No.
Quick tangent. Isn't Little Mix like this generation's Sugar Babes?
No, not really, because they actually became worldwide.
So was the Sugar Babes.
Believe me, they weren't.
The Sugar Babes were worldwide.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were, man.
No, they weren't. Girls Aloud wasn't even worldwide.
Girls Aloud. Remember Girls Aloud?
Sound of the underground. Wait. Are we going to get copyright strike?
Delete me from this conversation.
We have to get Shaq in there just to
We gotta
Delete me
fight,
from this
fight,
conversation.
fight, fight,
Delete me
fight
from
for
this
this stuff. That
conversation.
wasn't Girls Aloud, but that was Cheryl Cole.
Delete me from this
Was she
conversation.
in Girls Aloud?
Yes.
Wow.
What, you didn't know?
I didn't know that. I thought she was just.
Bish, you know the Spice Girls at least.
I do. Yeah.
Spice up your life.
Okay, well, we don't want to get copyright striked. So, we're going to go on a bit of an ad break. And then when we return, we're actually going to talk about what we ate at Ichiba.
Honest to God, I think we need to go to Ichiba again.
We should.
Just remind our taste buds.
Anyway.
I feel like we need to have it fresh in our minds again.
We'll be back. This episode of Umai is brought to you by the wonderful people at Japan Center. If you guys don't know about Japan Center is a wonderful set of shops and retail establishments in central London. Japan Center, they also own a lot of different fantastic restaurants in London as well. Shoryu, Yokocho, Ichiba, and a bunch of others as well. We love them. Thanks for them sponsoring this episode of Umai. Remember, guys, you could buy all sorts from Japan Center. You could buy ceramics, you could buy Japanese goods, snacks, bentos if you go in person as well. A lot of imported Japanese goods. I used to buy Famitsu from Japan Center, and you still can. You still can buy Famitsu. You can also buy anime goods as well as other bits and bobs. So remember, guys, make sure you visit japancenter.com, and thanks Japan Center for sponsoring this episode of Umai. Okay, we're back from our break, and we're just going to tell you guys what we had at Ichiba. So I'm just going to go through the menu with you guys. They've got some really lovely sort of deals that go on throughout the week. On Mondays, they've got a 2 for £8 on fluffy hirata buns.
We actually, didn't we not get one?
We did get hirata bun. Yes, we did. I think we got 2 actually, but we'll go in there.
Good.
Another lovely thing that I like about Ichiba and even Yokocho and Shoryu and all of the sort of restaurants that they operate is that they have like meal deals and like set menus.
Oh, I cannot wait to do the ramen episode with you on Yokocho.
Yokocho
Because
deserves
that
an
set
episode, man.
menu
You
was
tried
unreal.
the set menu?
I tried the set menu.
It was so good.
It was unreal. The
But-
drinks as well.
But you know what?
Unreal.
We'll stop that for now. We'll go on to the Ichiba set menu. So with the Ichiba set menu at the time of recording, it's £16.95. It's multiple deals that are run on. So you get a main, a side, and a drink. So you can get a ramen meal deal, which is a ganzo tonkotsu ramen from the Shoryu ramen range. 3-piece takoyaki or edamame, and a selected soft drink. Or you can go for the curry meal deal, which is chicken katsu curry, takoyaki or edamame, and soft drink. Or you can get a vegan ramen meal deal, which is the white natural ramen, edamame, and a selected soft drink. Which I think for £17 thereabouts,
Unreal.
that's a lot of food.
That's so much food.
And considering, right, like you can easily spend that much on a McDonald's nowadays.
Oh my god!
You know, do you know what I mean?
Is it? I honestly thought I was the only one that thought McDonald's was getting really expensive nowadays.
It's super expensive. I was like, what the hell? Like,
£7 on a Big Mac meal. It is £7, isn't it?
It's so expensive. But with the amount of food that you get with Ichiba,
And that's not even with a
you're saving money.
milkshake. That's not even with a milkshake. That's
No.
literally Sprite or Coke or something.
Exactly. But
£7, and that's medium.
£17 for ramen or curry or vegan ramen, I think it's a good price. That's including drinks and takoyaki. So,
It's basically starter, main, drinks, and
yeah, it's really good. It's a really good deal. So going through the menu, like we mentioned before, they've got selected items from Yokocho. They've also got from Shoryu ramen. So they got the ganzo tonkatsu, which is the signature tonkatsu broth with fried shallots.
nice.
By the way, their ramen prices, the Shoryu stuff is £14 thereabouts.
Yeah.
And the Yokocho stuff is 15, I think.
Yokocho, oh my god. Do you know what?
We'll talk about Yokocho in its own
I'm just
episode.
getting too excited, guys.
Forget about Yokocho for now. We have its own episode for that.
Yeah.
Guys, be excited for that. So
Yeah.
they got their kotori tonkotsu, which is a richer broth with meatier tonkotsu broth, double nitamago, egg, and fried shallots. And then they have a peri-peri tonkotsu and a Dracula tonkotsu.
Peri.
Yeah, it's a spicy one.
And what's
basically.
Dracula? The garlic.
The garlic one. So that's what they offer in terms of the Shoryu ramen. I remember back in the day when they first introduced the Ichiba food court that they started off with the Shoryu stuff, but the fact that they've also brought in the Yokocho ramen, they got the Tokyo shoyu, the Yokocho, and the vegan miso, which I will say the vegan miso is excellent. But we'll talk about Yokocho in a separate episode. In addition to that, they have soba noodles. They have kake ramen or kake udon as well. Sukiyaki in terms of noodles, you can have that with rice or with noodles. Zarun soba, tempura, yakisoba, curry as well. Donburi, cold donburi, which is basically sashimi on rice.
I've had that before. It is good.
It is good.
The salmon and tuna sashimi on rice.
They
Amazing.
have hirata buns and what they class as soul food, which is basically smaller things like a side of karage.
Karage was unreal.
Chicken katsu sando, katsu skewers, handmade gyoza, which you can choose a chicken, pork,
Basically
or vegetable.
the
Fried stuff and like any sort of side dishes, really. And they also got takoyaki and sashimi and stuff like that. They've also got a lot of different types of alcohol. So if you are interested in alcohol, they've got Kirin Ichiba draft. So, and they've also got Asahi draft as well. You can get a beer bucket for £20, which includes 5 bottles of beer.
Wow, nice. I think
that's a really good offer,
Yeah,
I'd say.
yeah.
You've also got Asahi or Kirin as well. And they've got a lot of sake, which I did not notice before because they don't really kind of promote it until you kind of look at the menu.
Yeah.
They got Tarusake.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. Don't get me wrong. There's obviously going to be older gentlemen and people with their families going and they want a little bit of alcohol. But I think the majority of people, which is, quite nice to see. Like, I think because we went when we were like teenagers, I think, to Japan Center. Obviously, I don't think Ichiba was around when we were teenagers, but I think Ichiba is one of those places. I don't think maybe they promote the sake because it's a lot of teenagers and or like young uni students going.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
Which is really nice because to be fair, it's actually quite funny. I was having this conversation with my friend. A lot of the stuff that's popular nowadays that we used to get bullied for liking.
Yeah, it's so
in our age,
weird, isn't it?
It's just
super popular.
It's like you're the cool kid now if you like bubble tea and anime and
like,
manga and
like what the hell? I used to get beaten up for watching anime. I'm
exactly, like you used to have to hide your manga underneath the bed. Like even if you said you were a fan of Dragon Ball Z, that would get you literally.
No, I think Dragon Ball Z was a lot more acceptable back then. But this is not.
No, but do you know what wasn't acceptable? It was you were only allowed to like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, The Last Airbender.
Yeah, Avatar,
whatever it was called, and that's it, literally nothing else. Pokemon, and that's it.
And if you were like, hey guys, I'm a big fan of My Love Story, you get beaten the shit out.
Literally.
My
My Love Story was so good.
Anyway, this is not Kunai. If you guys want to listen to our My Love Story episode, it is available on Kunai. Links are in the description. Anyway, so they also got Tokusen, and then they've got all these different types, and they serve wine as well, so you can get white, red, and rosé. Like, that's just how it is. So there is a lot of options on that menu, but we'll kind of go through what we decided to go through. So obviously the way that we wanted to do is that we didn't want to go for a sashimi this time because we were on a budget.
But I had it before and it's really good.
We had it before, but I thought for this time we kind of wanted to introduce a lot of people because I know that sushi and sashimi is not for everyone, right? So I thought, okay, we're going to go in as if we've never been to Japan Center before, as if we've never been to Ichiba before.
Don't know what to order.
And we don't know what to order. So this is basically our introduction to Ichiba and Japan Center. So this same sort of stuff they do serve at the Japan Center in Leicester Square as well. So whichever one is closest to you, you can kind of get similar dishes there. So we're kind of considering this as your guide to Ichiba. So what did we start off with? We ordered.
I think let's start with the side and the smaller plates.
In terms of the side and the smaller plates, we got. I'm just going through my images right now because we took photos of all of it.
Yeah, which we will hopefully post.
We will. By the time this episode's out, we'll post it on Insta at Get a Life Podcast. But let me just double check because there was a lot of food and a lot of pictures. And
can we do like TikTok edits and have I'm been drinking? Do you know that song that's in like every single food edit?
Okay, no, I don't know. We could do that, but I don't know what. Okay, so we got tempura.
The tempura was unreal.
It was really nice.
This was mixed, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did like a tempura little platter. So what we got in our tempura platter was tempura prawns. We got tempura aubergines and I think like pumpkin tempura.
It was unreal.
It was really, really nice. And they give you this lovely tempura dipping sauce as well.
Can we talk about the texture of the tempura?
It was great. And also another thing, the aubergines were actually Japanese aubergines. Oh. A lot of places, especially some Japanese restaurants, they'll be like, hey, aubergine, and then it's not Japanese aubergine. You're like, what?
Japanese aubergines are like on another level.
They are. They're still crisp and crunchy. They're not soggy. They don't go brown. It's amazing.
They've just got nicer texture, more of a tender texture than a standard aubergine.
And it's not like you're eating foam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like polystyrene.
Yeah,
polystyrene?
it feels like that. You know when you get like an aubergine and you try and recreate it at home and it's like, what the hell?
It literally tastes like you're just taking a bite into
polystyrene, or you're eating like a soggy wet sock. That's what it feels like if you fry an aubergine and it all goes all soggy. You know what I'm talking about?
How do you know what that tastes like, Bish? Delete me from this conversation.
Delete me from this conversation. Delete me from this conversation.
No, but seriously, no.
Bish, you're cancelled.
I'm sorry. But it's true though. You know when you try and fry an aubergine at home and it
literally tastes like not cardboard, but the stuff you get inside the cardboard.
Yeah, it doesn't taste good. But these guys have perfected their craft, 100%.
And Japanese aubergines, they're just built differently.
They're built differently. Anyway, so we also got takoyaki, which is quite good.
Oh, that was... Do you know takoyaki? Sometimes it's so difficult to get the right consistency and texture. Sometimes it's too soggy on the inside or it's overdone and it's wrong.
Or it's raw in the middle.
Yes, which is what I mean by soggy. Like sometimes I feel like although something so simple can be really difficult to like master.
And it's a street food, right? And it's relatively cheap. And we only got 4 because, you can get also 8. But we decided to go for 4 because with the amount of food, right?
We wanted to try like a little bit of everything.
And the lovely thing about it is that they put like katsuboshi on top. It's that I don't know how to explain it, but katsuboshi is like that dried fish that
flakes,
the flakes, and then they kind of dance around on the. You know what I'm talking about?
This was so fresh.
It was really, really good
and unreal,
and it didn't have
cooked to perfection.
It didn't have a fishy taste.
No,
because
some places, I'm gonna be honest with you, either it's underdone, it's overdone, or it tastes fishy. This was perfection.
Perfect. So
fresh.
We love that. We stand that. We stand takoyaki.
Fried octopus balls.
Fried octopus. Yeah, great. We also had the hirata bun, which I think we got the chasu.
And wasn't there like a karage one?
No, we didn't get the karage. We've tried it before.
Oh, I tried it, and I'm thinking I'm getting confused. I tried that in yokocho.
Well, this isn't the yokocho
exactly.
episode.
Guys, be prepared.
Be prepared for
Get
yokocho.
Excited.
Get hyped for yokocho. Anyway, so we had the hirata bun, which was the pork bun. It was really good.
So the pork itself, I'm not a pork person. The only time I enjoy pork is like in the form of ramen. Or when I'm eating char siu pork.
Yeah, and that's what it
was.
This
was unreal. I usually get put off by the pork texture, but this was
It was
so
nice.
Tender.
It was tender. It kind of almost melted on your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
But also they had like a little slice of cucumber on the inside and the
refreshing,
lettuce. And it was
juicy, tender, refreshing.
It was
with the
amazing.
Cucumber. It was
we also had karage with a side of Japanese mayo, aka baby mayo, which is what we call it.
What is its name? Kewpie mayo.
Kewpie mayo, but it has a little baby on it.
Yeah, but what?
That's why we call it baby mayo.
But just call it Kewpie mayo.
No,
no one's gonna know.
People will know.
No one's gonna know.
People will know.
No one's gonna. How will they know?
How will they know? They'll know because there's a baby on the package.
But people are gonna think they're looking for baby mayo randomly, like a Tesco. Or
no,
something.
it's
Kewpie mayo.
I'm sorry. If Tesco sold it and I went into Tesco and I asked someone, "Excuse me, mate, you got that baby mayo?" They'll know what I'm talking about.
No, they won't.
They will.
They will escort you off the premises.
Do you got that baby? Can I guess?
Exactly.
That baby mayo.
Do you know how like crazy you sound?
No, but it's true. Look,
it's not mayo made out of babies. Just ask for Kewpie mayo.
It's not mayo made out of babies.
Mayo.
It's Japanese mayo. Okay, but there's different brands. Like that's the thing. There's other brands of that Japanese mayo, and I think Kewpie mayo is just the best.
Yes, 100%. I think Kewpie anything's good.
But it's so good though. It's because it's made out of egg yolks, like purely egg
yolks. It actually tastes like real mayonnaise, not like
vinegar.
oil.
Well, it tastes like eggs.
Yeah, but do you know how like some... we need to make that to a soundbite. But do you know how some mayonnaise literally just tastes like oil?
Paint.
Paint.
If you go into some supermarkets and you buy like own brand mayo, and it's just like this is like oddly paint.
It literally, do you know what? It tastes like someone got Hellmann's and put paint thinner inside the Hellmann's.
That's disgusting. Actually, we don't condone that. Hellmann's,
no, please don't,
if you're listening.
Don't, yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. It
Delete
reminds
me
me
from this conversation.
We're gonna get cancelled.
We're gonna get cancelled by Hellmann's.
Just look for Kewpie mayo. Kewpie mayo is the actual brand. But yeah, that karage was 10 out of 10.
Which
so fresh,
the
so
easiest
crunchy,
place and the actual cheapest
juicy
place that
and
you can
tender.
get Kewpie mayo from is Japan Center.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Other supermarkets will charge you quite a bit. Japan Center will charge you, at least from when I buy it, it's around £5.
Do you know what else you can get from Japan Center?
What?
Japanese aubergines
You can get them
from the grocer.
from the grocer, and it's really, really
It's worth it.
juicy. And anyway, that's besides the point. That's beside the point. The point being, what else did we get? We got our main dishes, which I think you got the beef sukiyaki.
The beef, oh my god. Japan Center Ichiba just knows how to do good tender beef, like melt in your mouth beef. Unreal.
Which is basically, it's a gyudon. It's a beef donburi ball.
Beef over rice.
With onions.
Yeah. And I think pickled ginger.
And pickled ginger as well.
Unreal.
And then I went for the chicken katsu curry. And the reason why I went for the chicken katsu curry is because of their portion size at Japan Center.
Japan Center gives you a lot of food.
It's
unreal.
Insane. It's
unreal.
genuinely
the amount
insane.
of beef that I had in that rice bowl, I couldn't even finish the rice. I just ate the beef.
For the prices as well, that's a full-on meal.
And it's fresh. You can tell it's good quality food.
And it's not just that. It's just the fact that even the presentation, like I'm looking at the images now, it's like proper restaurant stuff. Look at that katsu curry there. Like it's served in like this sort of
We
banana
couldn't
split
finish
bowl.
it. It was
huge.
It was huge, yeah.
Which it's insane because there are actual curry houses and actual, restaurants that will serve you like these insane small portions, and you're like, man, I should have just gone to Ichiba, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
For the same amount of money, or even for more money, you're like, why did I spend my money here when I could have just gone to Ichiba and bought what I needed to get and at least be satisfied and actually enjoy the meal? So
the best thing about Ichiba, not only is it quite affordable, it's good quality ingredients.
Good quality.
It's fresh. It's warm. Just
it's a vibe.
So good.
I think as well.
And the portions, it's just too much food.
It is too much food. So I think you kind of have to.
You do get your bang. Is it your bang for your buck?
Yeah, you get a good bang for your buck, I guess. But I'd say as well, going there, take it into consideration because you don't need more than one like main meal, right? For a
you
person.
don't even need a side, literally. It's
no,
enough
you
food.
don't. Literally, if you just bought the katsu curry and that was it,
but the sides
that would
are
fill
not,
you
but,
up.
Yeah, exactly. But the sides are really nice, you know.
The sides are nice, but I think
what I recommend is just don't eat all the rice. Get a couple of sides. Don't eat all the rice and eat like the rest of the bits because that's what we did.
Yeah, we did that.
Even then, we still couldn't finish a lot of the
food.
What
I would recommend as well is that you can kind of almost go in and kind of think of it as like tapas. In a sense, like have like all these little bits.
Can I just say, Ichiba is one of these places that not only can you enjoy by yourself, like as a lunch on your own, because I know some people are a bit too shy, like myself, to go and dine on their own. You can also enjoy it with a bunch of friends, and like everyone just orders a different food and you share.
Exactly, that's why I was talking about the whole tapas idea, because with the amount of food that you get in the portion, it just makes sense that everyone could sort of share.
You can
and
literally family style it.
You can, and I think that's a lovely thing about it. And in a sense, it almost kind of feels like those Japanese family restaurants.
Yeah.
Like if you go to like a Denny's in Japan or something like that, it kind of gives that vibe, which is really nice because obviously family style restaurants in Japan are super popular. Even the way that it is in terms of booths and the way that it's designed kind of gives off that vibe. And it's a very friendly and calm and just great vibe, you know?
I just find the only place I go and eat when I'm in Westfield is literally just Ichiba
100%.
after shopping.
It's literally the best place to go, especially if you're a fan of Japanese
do you know,
food.
I wish we had this on a soundbite, but you know the guy that goes like, it's like a reward.
Oh, yeah, we need that soundbite.
Literally. That's what Ichiba feels like after a long day of shopping. It's like a reward.
And what we're going to do now is that we're going to go on a break. And when we return, we're going to talk about the other bits and bobs in Ichiba, like the stuff that you can do, the stuff you can buy. Anyway, we'll be back in a moment. This episode of Umai is brought to you by the wonderful Japan Center family. In particular, Yokocho. We really love them. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to record an ad read for them. Amazing. I went to Yokocho and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Lovely ramen, retro style ramen. The vibes are immaculate. It is a place to go. Genuinely, if you just want to eat ramen by yourself, they got these wonderful self-contained booths. They got an arcade machine there as well if you go to the Hedden Street location. Genuinely, it's just a fantastic vibe. And you got all of this ramen choices. You got mochi donut. It's got it all. It genuinely got it all. Even if you don't like ramen, they've got katsu curry and it's fantastic. But seriously, if you love ramen, if you want that authentic sort of Japanese alleyway ramen, you know, that local ramen bar, you got it with Yokocho. So make sure you guys get down to Yokocho. If you can't, you can experience Yokocho at Ichiba locations as well as Japan Center. So thanks to Japan Center and Yokocho for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Okay, we are back. We're talking about Ichiba. Georgina.
Yes.
Ichiba.
Is that not the same? Is that not the same name as the guy from
No, that's Ichiban. You're talking about the guy from Yakuza.
Yeah.
From Like a Dragon.
What does the word Ichiba mean? And what does the word Ichiban mean?
Ichiban means one.
Yeah.
I don't know what Ichiban means.
I think let's maybe Google it. What does Ichiba
Well, you know
mean?
what? Japan Center, you're listening to this,
Yeah.
so you can actually tell us. Send us an email, and we can rectify it on our next episode when we talk about Yakuza. Anyway, so one thing that I do love about it is that it's because it's a grocery store, you can get so much stuff in it. Like we mentioned, alcohol, you can get bentos, you can get stuff.
I Googled it.
Georgina Googled it.
Ichiba is a Japanese word which means market. So Ichiba may also refer to the following, the Ichiba stations, but it means market.
What? Which makes sense because it's a food court.
And now, what does
it's a
Ichiban
market.
mean? Ichiban means number one, the best.
Okay, Ichiban. Lipstick for
So
men.
can I just say,
Remember
Ichiba
that?
is Ichiban.
Oh, I like that. That was
Cheesy.
good.
but
Remember
I like
that?
it.
Remember when Joey did Ichiban? Lipstick for men. I love that episode. Anyway.
Psycho.
Psycho. Anyway, Ichiban. Lipstick for men. Anyway, that was a great episode of Friends, by the way. Anyway.
I think let's back this on a t-shirt. Ichiba, if you want us to do merch for you, I'm happy to do that. I can easily do a shirt that says Ichiba is Ichiban. Do you know how
so
much?
lame.
No, but you just said it was nice.
It was
earlier.
nice for them
Yeah.
to use it, but you can't use it.
I know.
Is it-
I'm just trying.
You're
here.
no.
Cancelled.
You're cancelled.
If only there was a
Thank
Trisha.
you.
I was gonna say it's only if only there was a Trisha Samwell that said no, thank you.
We could find a way.
You're canceled.
I'm not cancelled.
You're canceled.
No way.
You're
Delete this
canceled.
conversation.
Delete me from this conversation. But yeah, back onto the point about Ichiba. We love him. We stan him.
We stan a
We-
king.
we
We stan a
We
queen.
stan a queen.
We stan Ichiba.
What I love about Ichiba is the fact that you can also buy like Japanese vegetables frozen. So, like for example, I find it very difficult to find like bardock root and what do you call it? What is it called, Georgina? Lotus root and bamboo. But you can find it like a bag of mixed vegetables. That's why
fried lotus root, unreal.
I
That is
use.
another
You know
thing
what?
can-
I use it in my
yeah.
curry.
Yeah.
When I make katsu curry, because I buy all the ingredients from Ichiba, right? I will buy pre-prepared vegetables from the frozen section because they will sell like vegetables for curry.
Yeah.
You can also buy like pre-made curry in the bags and you just microwave it. If you wanted to do that, which a lot of people in Japan do. They also sell like tofu, like they'll sell types of tofu that you won't get in like your supermarkets. Because if you go into your supermarkets, you'll just get the standard blocks of tofu, the firm ones. You can fry it, do whatever you want with it. But they sell silken tofu as well if you wanted to make
Forgive
desserts.
me if I'm wrong.
What?
Doesn't Ichiba sell like the different kinds of like barbecue sets, like in
They
terms
do.
of the meats?
Yes, they do. So if you wanted to do shabu shabu,
Yeah.
You can buy it
has
from
it.
them.
I remember seeing it in the freezer when I went.
yeah, they have it in the freezer and they have it at like their butcher section as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So if you wanted to do shabu shabu, you can do it there. If you wanted to also do it as like I don't know how to explain, like a Korean barbecue style, you can also do it like that as well because the meat is thin enough for you to do it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they also sell wagyu.
Do they?
I think so, but like very thin pieces.
Yeah.
Because I remember once when I went there, they had like these little, what do you call them? Like barbecue tables.
Yeah.
And you can
Is
get
it
like wagyu but they had like these Japanese barbecue tables. I don't think they have them now anymore, but that was like in the early days of Ichiba, and that was fantastic. It was a lovely experience. They also have a wonderful Japanese snacks, like literally Kit Kats. You can get like ramen. They also sell a lot of Korean stuff as well. Like if you want to get ramyun, or if you wanted to get like
Can we talk
Korean
about
snacks.
the drink section?
The drinks. What, alcoholic drinks or non-alcoholic?
Non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic drinks. Wow, they've got some insane Japanese drinks, like the teas that they've got.
Every single flavor of ramen.
Every flavor of ramen you can find, and like the proper ramen stuff. They also got like stuff made by Suntory. My favorite drink of all time, lemon CC, which I think it's got like the amount of vitamin C is like 30 lemons. It's insane.
Do you know what I really love?
What?
Melon soda.
They've got the melon soda as well.
I'm a massive fan of anything that's melon flavored. I think Japan knows how to master that. Yeah.
Another thing is, speaking of melon, they also sell melon pan. During the summer, they'll have these
The
like little
sakura
pop-ups.
cookies are cute as well.
Sakura cookies are good. In the summer, they tend to have like pop-ups. They'll do like bubble tea pop-ups, or they'll do snow cones, like blackcurrant snow cones and like Ribena snow cones and stuff. Is really good. I'm trying to remember what else they did. Like they used to do a lot of bakery stuff, like the cream-filled cones. They did that, and a bunch of other stuff. Like,
do you remember? I don't know if they do this anymore. Remember the Japanese strawberry shortcake?
Yes, that was amazing.
Unreal.
That was amazing. I don't think they do it anymore, or even if they do, it might be like selected times of the day.
Do you know what? Do you know what it's missing? That Ichiba.
What?
A really tiny what's that? A really tiny Japanese patisserie.
They used to have one.
But bring it back.
Now they have like a ramen bar. Not a ramen bar.
Even if they actually make a Japanese bakery, like kind of like how they own Yokocho, but make a Japanese bakery as one of their other businesses.
Well, and they could do that.
Supply that to Ichiba.
Yeah, I think that could work.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'd be so down.
I don't know how that would work logistically, but I think that would work. So Japan Center, if you're listening, just open up a Japanese bakery, I guess. Anyway, besides that, they've got a lot of other stuff in there. Like you can buy like anime related goods, a lot of sweets and stuff, stationery. Yeah, if you're going to buy stationery, then I'd recommend going to the one in Piccadilly Circus because they tend to have a lot more of like home goods and things like that. Or by buying them online because you can buy the bento boxes online using Japan Center website. I know for a fact that all of my bento boxes that I buy are from the Japan Center website. I also buy a lot of chopsticks from there.
You bought me a book one time, the Book of 5 Rings. Was that
Yeah.
from the Japan Center?
I bought that Book of 5 Rings from Japan Center. They have a lot of Japanese literature.
Yeah, I was going to say Japan Center. Like, if you're ever struggling to look for like Japanese literature, head to Japan Center. They have the unpopular ones there.
They do, and they also sell like Japanese magazines. Like I said, those magazines, they're a lot easier to find in the Piccadilly Circus one. But you can get a lot of different Japanese goods. You can buy like sake bottles. You can buy a lot of Japanese made ceramics. You can buy calligraphy items as well. There's just pretty much, it's your one-stop shop for anything Japanese.
The Japanese ceramic.
Amazing, right?
Amazing. I kind of just want to buy a ramen bowl.
Yeah, I think
like actual chopsticks.
I want to buy a ramen bowl and the spoon and also the teapot. The cast iron teapots.
Teapots. The teapots are so cute.
Yeah, they're super expensive though because they're made out of cast iron, but they're really great. Like that's like my next purchase.
A teapot.
A teapot, like a Japanese style teapot.
Can I say, if you met Bish, you would never think that he'd get so excited and happy over a Japanese teapot.
You know what? The teapot.
He just doesn't look like that kind of human.
Do you know where the teapot obsession came from?
I think from where?
When I was at uni.
Yeah.
When we were doing stuff like, because I studied architecture, as you guys know, so we did a lot of 3D modeling. And when you wanted to test render something, so there was a program that we used called 3ds Max, and one of the prime features and stuff that you can use, like you can create a box, you can create a circle to like check your shadows and stuff. But there was a function for you to create a teapot because teapots were like the main thing that you'd use in renders. So me and my friend Mladen, shout out Mladen, he would hide teapots in my renders, in my buildings. So he would just put a random teapot somewhere.
Why a teapot?
Because it became a meme.
But why a teapot?
Because the idea was the teapot was shaped in a certain way that you can test all different types of shadows and surfaces. It's a design tool. Like that's what it was. But
just imagine like a random floaty teapot.
That's the meme.
Moving around.
I'll be presenting my work. I'm like, hey guys.
Moving around your render.
No, it wasn't moving around. It was just like he'll put it in like a random place.
I'm literally. Do you know what I'm thinking of?
I'm showing off my building, and I'm like, hey guys.
Do you know who I'm thinking of? Like moving around.
What?
Is it Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast?
No, it's just a standard teapot.
Taylor's all the time.
Anyway, so that random teapot, I'll be presenting my work, and there'll be a random teapot on the wall, and then no one would notice it, and then Mladen will go up to me and be like, "Did you notice that teapot?" I'm like, "Yes, you bastard! I noticed that teapot," and I'm here. I'm trying to explain my work, and I'm almost about to laugh because there's a random teapot somewhere. That's where the obsession of teapots came
would
from.
it just like randomly pop out of nowhere, literally, whilst you're presenting?
No, because you're presenting printed out images. So there'll just be a random teapot, just randomly. Like it's, for example, I designed a building that was like an office building.
You know, because I'm thinking of like when you're pressing like anime and it moves. I'm literally picturing like Mrs. Potts moving around.
No, it was like hidden teapots, like a Where's Waldo in terms of teapot.
Kind of like be our guest,
No,
like that's what I'm picturing.
It's literally like a stationary teapot.
Yeah.
That is hidden, and it's kind of like a Where's Waldo type game. And we do this to one another as well, right? We just hide teapots, and we do this to other students. Like when they leave their computers, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm going for lunch. I'm leaving my computer to render."
You guys are menaces.
And we would go in, and as they're rendering, we'll put in a hidden teapot.
You guys are teapot menaces, literally.
But you know what? It was harmless fun.
Yeah.
And it didn't even affect anything. No one ever noticed the teapot.
Could you imagine someone's paper is getting marked and, oh, this is amazing, and then they find one random teapot like, I'm failing this.
No, that's not going to happen.
Could you imagine?
That is not going to happen.
Students got failed.
No.
Because of your teapots.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
100%.
Shut up. No one failed. In fact, they passed
Did
because of the teapot.
No, could you imagine other scenario? Oh, this work is so crappy. Oh, teapot.
Teapot.
First class honours. Nani?
Nani? Everyone just they get so gassed over a teapot. Whoa, teapot! Oh my god, it's a teapot! That would be hilarious. Only in this universe that we've created would someone pass. Imagine getting a failing grade and that teapot is
I think Ichiba,
grade.
you have to send, or Japan Center, you have to send Bish a teapot now.
Definitely. Send me a teapot. I'd love it. We'll do a whole review. We'll do a whole serious episode on like Japanese teapots.
Yeah, literally.
100%. And I'll bring Mladen on for that episode.
Will you?
Yeah, 100%. If Japan Center sends us a teapot, me and Mladen will sit down and just talk about how teapots are designed.
The thing I love, the thing that I love about Umai is you learn something really interesting about Bish each time.
100%.
Something that you never ever expect in your whole lifetime.
About the obsession with teapots. Teapots are just amazing.
No, but it's true. You do have an obsession because every time you go to shopping and I expect you to like buy clothes or whatever, he always comes back with like a glass teapot or something.
Yeah, it's always teapots. I don't know why. I just like tea. But then I don't actually like drinking tea. I just like...
He likes making and brewing the tea in these glass or these cast iron teapots.
There's just something about teapots. It's that and clocks, but we'll leave clocks for another episode.
I'm telling you, Bish, you sound like literally Beauty and the Beast, Cogsworth and Mrs. Potts. Yeah.
It might be because of that, actually. Sailor's oldest
time. Can I just say one thing? When we were younger, Bish used to be obsessed with Beauty and the Beast. He had to watch it 20 times every day on VHS tape. So it makes sense.
Shut up, man.
The clock obsession and the teapot obsession makes sense.
Yeah.
You used to lie. You used to say you used to watch it because you fancied Belle. Nonsense. You like teapots and Cogsworth.
You're calling me out because I like Mrs. Potts. Actually.
Oh, you do?
Fun fact.
Yeah.
At my old job.
Yes.
I revealed a secret.
I feel like
that my original...
wait, can I just say one thing? I feel like I'm supposed to know everything about you because I'm your twin sister.
But you don't.
But
these are the things
I keep getting
hidden.
I keep getting these like really dark like revelations.
Dark. This is not dark.
This is gonna be dark. Go on. What about the teapots?
When I was a child.
Yeah.
You know how you have like your first crush, right? And it's usually a cartoon character.
Bish, no. Don't tell me you had a crush on the teapot. We're gonna get cancelled.
Oh
no! It wasn't Mrs. Potts.
It was Mrs. Potts.
You had a crush on Mrs. Potts?
100%, yeah, she was cute.
No. No, Bish, you're cancelled. I can't be.
But only when she was a teapot.
You're joking, right? You're joking, right? You're joking.
Yes, of course I'm joking.
Oh my god, could you imagine?
But I told my colleagues at work because they were like, "Oh, who's your first crush?" And they were saying some stupid shit, and I was like, I was like, Mrs. Potts. And I kind of lived that meme for like a good 3 years.
Yeah.
And when I left, what did they give me?
A teapot.
They didn't. They actually went out of the way. They drew a teapot.
Yeah.
It was actually Frances. Shout out to Frances. Frances drew a teapot and she gave it to me.
How have you never mentioned this to me before?
Not everything you need to know. Sailor's
oldest time, Beauty and the Beast. No, seriously, Ichiba, send him a teapot.
Send me a teapot, Ichiba. What if, you know what Ichiba could be trolls, and you know what they could do?
Yeah.
They could send me a Mrs. Potts.
No, I feel like, to be fair, I feel like we've digressed. We should be talking about Ichiba.
But you know what? I think we've talked about everything about Ichiba, and this is like the bonus round of the episode, right? Because we've been going on for an hour. So, that being said, we learned a lot about me today.
And your teapot obsession.
And my teapot obsession. And maybe next episode we'll learn a bit about my clock obsession as well. And the other stuff that I like. So one thing that I will say is big shout out to Japan Center and Ichiba for hooking us up and actually allowing this episode to go ahead.
I had an amazing time in Japan Center.
We really did love it. And I recommend everyone, if you live in London or if you live in the UK and you are visiting London,
Go to Ichiba.
Or Japan Center. or any one of their restaurants, right? And you guys will be hearing ads for those restaurants in the episode, whether that's for Shoryu or Yokocho. Our next episode of Umai is going to be
Yokocho.
It's going to be
I'm
Yokocho.
so excited.
And we're going to record it straight after this.
I'm so excited.
And I will say this. Japan Center didn't actually pay for
We
our
actually-
Yokocho.
can
We
I-
did that ourselves.
No,
We went
but-
randomly.
Yeah, but can we just say one thing? I had no idea. So I said, it was my friend Nicole and I. We said, oh,
Shout out.
Shout out to Nicole. So we said, oh, let's go try Yokocho Hendon because it looks like a nice sort of like a ramen place.
And I was
we
already
love
there.
ramen. Yeah, I know. Bish great crashed us.
I did not. I was there before. In my defense, I was there before
No,
because
but-
I was in Selfridges, and I was like, you know what?
Lies, because I said I was going and he was like, oh, I'm going first. That's what happened.
Yeah.
He was trolling me. But anyway, so we actually went and I had no idea, and it was so good by the way, but I had no idea that Japan Center owns Hendon Yokocho.
And that's the thing. So if you guys so we'll do our next episode on Yokocho. It's not going to be sponsored by Japan Center, but if you guys want us to do a more comprehensive episode on Yokocho and Shoryu, because we're doing this little mini ramen series. I don't know if you guys realize that, but we have this little mini ramen series going on where we're just visiting all these different ramen shops unintentionally, and we're doing it in the summer. I don't know if that's is that a thing? To eat ramen in the summer?
The thing is,
That's a Nathan thing.
Can I just say one thing? I
We
think we have to explain this in the next episode.
Okay, we will. Okay, anyway, that being said, Georgina, any last words for the episode?
Tale as old as time.
Tell us all the time.
Beauty and the Beast.
Anyway, bye guys.